some of that comment within the interview in the Daily Telegraph this morning. Well, Mark Pack, a co-editor of the website Lib Dem Voice, is in our central London studios, as you can see. Let's chat to him now. Mark, good to see you this morning. What do you make of Vince Cable's comments?
I think what the Telegraph has revealed in many ways is what everyone knew anyway, that there are lots of sometimes very stringent debates between Liberal Democrats and Conservatives in coalition. And in that sense, although the story has been reported understandably as embarrassment, gaffe and so on, actually I think the reality is probably both rather good for Vince's own reputation and the Liberal Democrats as a whole, because it's brought out very strongly in public that it is a coalition in which the parties don't agree on everything, but they work together, and sometimes the Liberal Democrats get their way, but being the smaller of the parties in the coalition, understandably don't always get their way.
Strong language though that he's used. He's talking about the coalition being paralysed, talking about infighting, describing as some elements being like being at war. I mean, doesn't that undermine all the hard work that your colleagues like Nick Clegg are doing within the coalition if you've got Vince Cable saying that?
I don't think it does, because in a normal sort of adult, sensible world, people can disagree with each other and also get on and work together successfully. It's the sort of thing that people all around the country are probably doing this very day in their offices. They've got colleagues who they might disagree with, colleagues who they think better or think worse of, and they get on and do their job. In a way, all Vince Cable is doing is revealing that the coalition is no different from a normal workplace in that respect.
OK, so in an adult and a sensible world, would you use language such as nuking your colleagues and describing the coalition government as a Maoist revolution?
I think that, certainly you're right, is not the vocabulary that I would use, but the underlying point, I think, is an important one, which is that it is possible for politicians to disagree with each other but also work productively together in the national interest. And I think the politics of it are, in a way, quite helpful for the Liberal Democrats, because one of the great challenges the party has faced over the last few months is showing that it is in some way providing something different in the coalition government from what it would be like if it was simply a Conservative majority government. And in that sense, the sort of publicity around Vince's views reinforced the message.
And do you believe that he will walk if he doesn't get his way?
I think there's all sorts of speculation you get around Christmas time and so on. It's obviously possible that in an extreme circumstance a minister from any part of the coalition might resign. But I think it's notable how, if you look carefully at the wording that Vince used, he was quite clearly only talking about an unusual and extreme circumstance. He wasn't talking about this.
So why say it? I mean, that's a hollow threat then, isn't it?
Well, I think he was being admirably frank with what appeared to be two constituents who had come to him and had asked him what his views were on the situation in the coalition. I think it's notable that although the Telegraph has talked about publishing a full transcript, if you actually look at the transcript that they published on the Telegraph website, they have edited out all of the comments and questions from their journalists. So we don't actually know the full context in which these comments were made. But It is a bit weird where you have a politician being frank with members of the public who come to him, and then they're criticised for being honest with the public. I think that's normally it's the other way around.
Mark Pratt, we have to leave it there from Lib Dem Voice. Thank you.